What's good, everybody? Tatsuro Taira is taking on Brandon Royval this weekend. A couple good fights on this card, man. I don't actually mind it. But yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I think there's some good matchups on here, especially in the prelims where I like. Man, bear with me if I'm flipping through notes. You know, I got to write shit about fighters, so I want to get my picks right? But yeah, they're a little bit, clustered up, so it might take me a little second. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get right into the first one. First up. Man, so Junior Tafa stepping in on short notice to take on Chris Barnett. And then we got another guy stepping up on short notice named Sharaf, okay? I tried to find as much footage as I could of this guy. I went to his Instagram. I looked on YouTube. From what I've seen, I mean, look, there's not a ton of film. This guy has finished a lot of people early in fights. So he's not a grappler, which concerns me automatically in this matchup. This is a very extremely short notice fight against a guy who has got a lot more striking experience than this guy, okay? This guy, Sean, he got a knockout. I think his hands are pretty quick. He's going to be the more heavy guy in this matchup, not the better striker. He's going to hit harder a little bit maybe, but I could see this, Sean dude maybe having some success in the first round, but he's 260 pounds. He's a big guy. His athleticism is okay. I don't know anything about him really, so it's hard for me to sit here and tell you that I think he's going to win this fight, especially due to the fact that he is not a grappler. So I think I kind of have to pick Junior Tafa here, and I was going to pick him versus Chris Barnett, but I think Junior's going to, knock this guy out. If it's not in round one, it'll be in round two. This guy, he swings hard. His hands are pretty fast for a guy of his size. Like I said, I just think he's seen everything. He's seen fast strikers. This shouldn't be new to him. I think he's going to knock this guy out. There's not much film on this dude at all. He trains out of Extreme Couture. I believe he's older. I believe he's like 35 or 36. I don't fucking know how old he is, but he's in his 30s. He just hopped at the opportunity like anyone should. But I really don't see him winning a fight like this. I don't know. It's a guy, with a good striking background, and you're a striker and you've had 4 fights in pro, and your hands they looked pretty good from what I saw, but I haven't seen enough. I'm going to pick Junior Tafa. You're too athletic, too good. I think he's seen guys like this, and I think he's going to floor this dude in the second. Give me second round KO from Junior Tafa. Next up. Interesting matchup here. We got, I almost said Pat Sabatini. Oh my gosh. Okay, my bad. Dan Argueta taking on Cody Haddon. So Dan Argueta, man, is the underdog here, okay? Dan Argueta is a good fighter. He's got a really good gas tank. He's going to go out there and shoot a bunch of takedowns. Good pressure. His takedowns are fast. When I look at his control and his submission ability, it's not the best. But this guy's going to go out there and he's going to work. He works hard. He's durable. He like I said, he's going to go out there and, make you uncomfortable, be right up on you and make you work. Cody Haddon, on the other hand, just coming off the Contender Series with a first round KO over Billy Brand, a guy who I picked in that fight. So, Cody surprised me, came out there and knocked him out. Didn't have to show any really takedown defense in that fight, but I know his takedown defense is there, okay? He has got very quick hips. He's fought in Steven Erceg. I've watched that fight. I've watched other of his fights against good opponents, and he is stuffing takedowns, a lot of them. Against Steven Erceg, man, I think Erceg shot about, 15 to 20 takedowns, and Haddon stuffed a lot of them. And if he didn't stuff him, he reversed position or got back up. And I don't think he'll have trouble here. I really like Cody Haddon. I think he's a very, very promising prospect, and I like the way he's turning around and getting back in here, and especially against a guy like Dan Argueta, who's not easy to get through. Dan Argueta is actually a pretty fucking good fighter, so I think Cody Haddon with the win like this is going to really do well for his career, and I think he'll get it. I like the guy, man. I think he's got great hips. He's been training MMA forever. He's got fantastic boxing on the feet. It shouldn't be close. I think Dan Argueta, he's going to go out there and shoot takedowns. He doesn't really set them up, which is a problem. Cody Haddon can come in there and catch him with a big shot like an uppercut. Definitely see that. And also, I don't really like Dan Argueta's variety on takedowns, right? He really is just a guy who shoots double legs. His entries are good. And I do expect him in this matchup to be able to get Cody Haddon to the ground. I do think he will once or twice. I just think Cody Haddon's going to be able to, work hard, and he's going to get up and he's going to land better shots and just be better. Dan Argueta, like I said, he keeps a very high pace. And I said his cardio is really good. His cardio is good because he fights at that high of a pace. It's not like a Merab where he can go at that pace forever. Because I do remember in his last fight, in the second round, he was still breathing pretty hard. But he was fighting at an insane pace, right? So, yeah, I think, Cody Haddon's a guy who possibly could knock him out, possibly submit him. Argueta's going to shoot a lot of takedowns. I believe he got guillotine choked last fight by another guy who's a good fighter as well. But I like Cody Haddon here, man. I think he's going to piece Dan Argueta up. In the first round might be a little rough, but I'm expecting like a 29-28 decision. Second and third round going to Cody Haddon. Next up, this is a good matchup, man. Jonathan Pierce taking on Pat Sabatini. This is a great matchup, okay? Look, guys, when I look at Pat Sabatini, I think he is one hell of a grappler, really. He really is a really good grappler. He's great on the ground, very good on the ground. If he can get you there, I think he can get anybody there. This guy was coming in as a favorite versus Diego Lopez. That's how good he is on the ground, okay? He's got great takedown entries, and if he can get you to the ground, you're probably not going to get up and you might get submitted. On the feet, he's not great. Luckily, he's going against a guy like Jonathan Pierce, who to me is not great on the feet. I would go sit here and tell you that this is a lock for Pat Sabatini if there wasn't this underlying factor that he has. Pat Sabatini's chin is atrocious, okay? Atrocious, man. It's very bad. Damon Jackson knocked him out with a front kick that really didn't even land. I don't know. His chin is really fucking bad, so you better hold your fucking breath whenever this guy gets hit. And Damon Jackson hit him with a front kick up the middle. Jonathan Pierce likes to throw that kick a lot, which makes me a little nervous. Jonathan Pierce has great scrambles. I think Jonathan Pierce is good. I'm not huge on his cardio. I don't think it's that good. I think Sabatini, if he can survive, because his chin is so fucking bad, it is that bad, man. It's like in the S tier on how bad his chin is. Like, he could get knocked out here easily. If a prop comes out for Jonathan Pierce knockout, I'll be taking it, man, because Sabatini's got a really bad chin, man. Anytime he gets hit, it's like I think he's going out. It's that bad. I think it's one of the worst in the UFC. It's like, so I don't know, man. I don't like picking him, but if he can get you to the ground, you're in trouble, man. This guy is fucking good on the ground. I really like his ground game. Jonathan Pierce slows down a little bit. He gassed out a little bit against Brito. He does have good scrambles. I expect him to get some scrambles off, and I expect him to keep this fight on the feet in reverse position against Sabatini early. I think Sabatini will rally. Second or third round finish for me. Submission, man. This guy's really good on the ground. I just hope he stays out of trouble because he is really chinny. I don't believe in Pierce's striking that much, and his cardio is not great. His scrambles are good. I think, like I said, he'll have success, but I like Sabatini to get this one done. Second or third round submission. Next up. Ooh, interesting. CJ Vergara taking on Ramazan Temirov. So Temirov has a fucking huge following in Uzbekistan. I believe he's got, near 600K followers on Instagram. Vergara is dog shit. But I had to watch a lot of Temirov because I didn't know much about him. He fought in Ryzen, 2 fights, 2 knockouts in the first round. Vergara sucks. Do I think there's a way he can win? I do. I don't see it happening, no. But let me tell you about Temirov, okay? A lot of people don't know much about him. Man, if he's got some really quick spinning kicks, and he'll throw them a lot. They're fucking so fast. You'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so fast. It is so fast. And speaking of that, CJ Vergara got caught by Daniel Lacerda with the wheel kick. We'll see what happens. But Temirov is a guy who my cons on him is his volume's a little bit low. But he's throwing everything into his shots, okay? He's throwing really hard, and typically when you're doing that, you get tired, but he doesn't throw that many shots, so he doesn't really get tired, which kind of makes me think, I was like originally, damn, Vergara is going to be able to, out-volume him, but when I watch Temirov back, man, he moves his feet really well, and he's out of danger a lot. He doesn't get hit a lot at all, and, he explodes into his shots. If he connects, you're going out. Simple as that. His takedown defense is fantastic. If CJ Vergara tries to come in here and take him down, he's going to get stuffed. He's going to get reversed. I don't really know. I think the volume is a little bit of an issue for Temirov. He tries to get you out of there quick, and if he can't, it's going to become a little bit of a closer fight, right? I could see him hurting Vergara in this fight. But I could see Vergara, taking the third round, something close. Temirov's good. He's a very fun fighter, aggressive as fuck, pressure. But I don't really like his style where he is, holding off the gas for, 45, 1 minute at a time where he doesn't throw anything and just circles around the octagon. I don't really like that. But I don't think Vergara can keep up. He's not fast enough. His footwork isn't good enough. He won't be able to cut off the cage. He's not really smart. I like Temirov here. A 29-28 decision. Next up, another interesting one. Clayton Carpenter taking on Lucas Rocha. Now, this is a very, very close fight for me. Because when I look at the striking, I'm not a fan of Clayton Carpenter's striking at all, actually. I don't think it's great. He doesn't move his head well. We saw, what's his fucking name? Edgar Chairez have a lot of success in his Contender Series fight, hitting him a lot. And I think Clayton Carpenter is a good grappler. I will give him that. I think the only thing that I think is good about this matchup for him is that he's going to be a lot bigger, okay? Lucas Rocha, to me, great takedown defense, a very aggressive striker. He hits hard, and, he is great takedown defense. I don't think Carpenter will be able to get him to the ground here, man. It's actually a really, really close fight for me because Rocha's aggressive on the feet. He is. He's really aggressive on the feet. He hits hard. He's going to come forward. And I've seen fights. This guy is fucking crazy, man. I've seen fights on the regional scene where he's getting dropped 4 or 5 times in the round and coming back and knocking the dude out. He's got a really good gas tank. I think Carpenter's got a good gas tank as well. This fight should be highlights, man. I expect a finish here, man, because these guys are both, hit hard, and this is going to be a very high-paced fight. This is going to be an exciting fight. I don't really know who I'm going to pick to win, man. It's very, very close fight. I'm going to stick with my gut, man. I'm going to go Rocha. I originally was on Carpenter, but I think Rocha's going to win, man. He's got very good striking. He hits hard. His takedown defense is great. His scrambles are really good. He's got a good submission game. I think Carpenter's going to be a little bit better on the ground. But, man, I can't see a big overhand drop in Carpenter or something hurting Carpenter. I don't know if this is that easy of a matchup as the odds make it seem. Rocha, to me, is a little bit small, man. This dude is fucking 5'3" and fought at 115 in Brazil. He fought at strawweight in Brazil, so he's a small guy, which makes me, go back on it. I don't know. I'm going to lean with my gut, man. I can't see Rocha not being able to hurt Clayton Carpenter. I saw Chairez do it, and I saw other people do it. I don't really like Carpenter's striking. I don't think he moves his head well. I could see, Carpenter hurting him, but I'm trusting Rocha to get it done, man. I like this guy a lot. I really do like his style. It's, chaotic, fun, and I'm not sold on Carpenter yet. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up. Oh, man. Themba Gorimbo taking on Niko Price. I would, if this was anybody but Niko Price, I'd probably, not anybody, but, around this area of the welterweight rankings, I'd probably be going with the other person. Niko Price is horrible, okay? Coming off a win versus Alex Morono, where Alex Morono took the fight short notice and was gassed. He beat the hell out of Price in the first round, and then he gassed out and just kind of, quit. Man, Niko Price is a guy who sucks, okay? His ground game is actually the only thing to me that can help him in this fight, because I think he's no slouch on the ground. I think he could go out there and submit Themba from his back or some crazy shit like that. I really do. On the feet, he doesn't move his head. He's slow as dirt. I mean, golly, man, this guy looks like a fucking grandpa, man. He is so fucking slow. It is awful, man. Very, very slow and old. He's taking a lot of damage. Themba sucks as well. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not huge on the guy. Last fight, I can't even remember who he was against. I might have fallen asleep. It was a clinch up for 15 minutes. I'm not joking. Clinched for 15 minutes, Themba Gorimbo. This dude's talking about, I'm going to be a champ and shit, bro. Come on, man. And I think let me check these odds real quick, man. Minus 280 is a little ridiculous, bro. Themba Gorimbo is not good, man. But I think Themba's going to be better on the feet here. If he tries to take him down, I could see Niko wrapping him up, man. I could. But I think Themba's better on the feet. I could see him catching Niko with a big overhand and ending the fight there, like he did to Pete Rodriguez. But I'm not high on either of these guys. I think both of them are very bad. I think one more step up in Themba Gorimbo's career versus anybody decent, I'm talking like a Phil Rowe or someone like that, he's going to get absolutely fucking smoked. So I think, I'm going to pick Gorimbo for the time being, but I'm not huge on it. I could see Niko Price coming out here and getting a win. But yeah, I'm going with a Themba to get this one done. I'm going to say a second round knockout. Next up, Daniel Rodriguez versus Alex Morono. Another fight where I sit here and wonder to myself, why is Daniel Rodriguez such a big favorite, okay? Daniel Rodriguez, people like to think is a good boxer. I think his hands are okay, but the guy doesn't hit hard, man. I mean, if it's coming down to the feet, I think Morono might be almost as good as Daniel Rodriguez on the feet. I'm not high on this guy, man. I really don't think he's good at all. He's on a 3-fight losing streak. Should be 4-fight losing streak. This guy should be out of the UFC, actually, because he lost to Li Jingliang, okay? That fight, he was 185 pounds, probably 190, and Leach weighed in at 170, and, he won that fight. So I'm not big on D-Rod. I don't think he's great. I think Alex Morono is better. I'm going with the dog here. I don't really see a world where D-Rod should be minus 205, man. He's not good. He's got okay hands. Morono, this is a full camp for him this time. His cardio is usually decent, but he's the younger guy here by 3 years, man. D-Rod is 37 years old, bro. He ain't good. No athleticism, and that's pretty much what Morono struggles with, is people who are good athletes and faster than him, much faster than him. That's what Morono's going to struggle with. Morono's taken rounds off, Joaquin Buckley. He's taken rounds, beating the hell out of Santiago Ponzinibbio, should have won that fight and then got caught. Morono's going to be the better guy on the ground. I don't think his wrestling is great, but his jiu-jitsu is good. And, I don't really see D-Rod as being a good fighter, man. I think he can win, but why not pick the dog? Especially when I don't think high of D-Rod at all. So I'm going with Alex Morono win this fight, man. I don't think of D-Rod as very good. Oh, man. The bottom feeders of the middleweight division, there's like 4 dog shit fighters in that division. All dog shitters. Josh Fremd, Alhassan, Brundage, and Dennis Tallulah. All these guys are the bottom feeders of the middleweight division. They all seem to fight each other. But, yeah, this is a horrible matchup, a horrible fight. You got one side, Alhassan, who is a fucking clown. Talking about he could beat Dricus and he was going to make Dricus pay for what he said. Brother, you can't even beat anybody, man. You suck. Like, what the fuck makes you think you could beat Dricus? The guy who's never lost in the UFC, bro. You can't even beat a regular good fighter. Alhassan sucks. Fremd sucks as well. Got fucking dominated by Andre Petrosky. Dominated. He's not going to have to worry about this and that fight, or that in this fight. I think Alhassan hits harder. I think he's the better striker. I think he'll get this one done. He actually seems pretty hungry. This will be probably the last fight of either or loser, because both these guys suck. Honestly, I'd rather not even see these guys ever in the UFC. I mean, they're cutting all these people. Why don't you cut these fuckers? They suck. But anyways, I guess I'll pick Hassan. I don't even want to rewatch these guys fight. They're so bad. And I didn't rewatch them fight. So if you're going to bet on this fight, don't take my advice for it, because both of them suck. Next up. Oh, fuck. Let me make sure I got this right. Chidi, I think I'm missing one fight. Let me check this real quick. Sorry about that. Man. Let's check this real quick. Okay, yeah, it's just the last one here. Give me a second, guys. All right, we're good. Sorry about that, man. Next up, Chidi Njokuani versus Jared Gooden. Jared Gooden, a guy from Georgia, a guy, I've supported. He's the last one coming over Wellington Thurman. He's lost a lot in the UFC, been in and out of the UFC. I think this is a tough matchup. I think if you got a Jared Gooden who came in there with a game plan to pressure Chidi Njokuani the whole time, I think it'd be a lot better. I don't see it happening. He likes to sit at range and do nothing. And Chidi is going to tear him apart from there. I think Chidi could even mix up wrestling if he'd like. I don't think he will need to. I think this is a very easy win for Chidi Njokuani. I really do. I'm very confident that he'll win this fight. Jared Gooden hits hard. Chidi Njokuani is fantastic defense, sees every shot coming. Fought Reese McKee, and kind of like people thought the fight was close. He breezed right by him, in my opinion. Made it look really easy. Didn't look like he had a scratch on him. Blocked every shot. I think he's a good fighter. He's a little bit old. Jared Gooden's not great. Like I said, last fight coming over Wellington Turman, he's been knocked out before. Jared Gooden has. He's very durable, though. I'm going to go Chidi Njokuani by a dominant decision here. Next up, Rafa Garcia taking on Grant Dawson. I think this is a very easy pick for me, man. I'm going Grant Dawson. Rafa Garcia is okay. I'd say his best advantage or best shot to win this fight would be to outstrike Grant Dawson. I don't even think he's a very good striker. Grant Dawson's going to be the larger guy here, taller guy here. He's looking better and better on the feet. And this guy's Makhachev level on the ground. I will confidently say that this guy has that ability on the ground. I think he's Gamrot, Sarukian, Makhachev, around that area, okay? I really do think his control is as good as those three guys. Not Gamrot. Gamrot can't control well, but I really like Grant Dawson. I think he can get Rafa Garcia to the ground, and he's not going to get up. Rafa won't. I think Rafa's good on the ground, but, man, it's just hard for me to see it, man. Grant Dawson is very dominant. He's looking better and better, getting better and better on the feet. Only got caught by Bobby Green. Last time out, Joe Selecki held Joe Selecki down the whole time and beat him up. I expect Grant Dawson to get this one done. Not huge on Rafa. I don't think he's got great striking. Not very accurate. Doesn't hit hard at all. I think Grant Dawson gets this one done. Next up, Jung Park taking on Brad Tavares. So this fight was supposed to be, on the Lemos Jandaroba card, if I'm not mistaken. Got canceled. I believe Park had pulled out. Originally, I picked Brad Tavares, okay? I will not lie to you. I did. Now I'm going to go with Jung Park. I think I watched his boxing again, man. It looks great. Great jab. Great 1-2. Very defensively sound. There's been a fight, I believe it was versus RoboCop, where he went out there and kind of, went away from the game plan, where he was having success against RoboCop at range and kind of got into a brawl and hurt RoboCop at one point and then got eventually finished by him. But he was hurting him. He was beating him up on the feet. I think Brad Tavares is a little bit faster. I don't really like Tavares, though, man. He's chinny. He's a little bit old. Obviously, Jung Park is great on the ground. His takedowns aren't that great, but you're not getting Brad Tavares down anyways. The guy is really, really impossible to take down. Let's just put it like that. But Jung Park, to me, his striking looks good, man. I think, in this camp, he's probably not even working on his grappling because there's no point. But yeah, man, I like Jung Park here, man. I like his hands. They look pretty good. I'm not huge on Tavares anymore, bro. I think he's very chinny. I think it's going to be a close fight because I want to say Tavares, but I'm going to stick to my gut here. I'm going with Jung Park to get this one done. Next up, the main event, man. A very intriguing matchup to me personally. I'm a fan of Brandon Royval. I'm a fan of Tatsuro Taira. And originally coming into this one, I thought, the underdog was going to get this one done easily. All right, guys, I want to talk about Brandon Royval and what he does good and what he does bad and, why I'm not picking him, okay? So Brandon Royval, he's going to be a guy who has great cardio, great pressure. He's dangerous. He's got great knees. He's very good at scrambling. You got to be aware of his, guillotines. His sweeps are good. His scrambles are good. His submissions off his back are good. I don't even think it comes down to that, okay? Okay, first of all, Brandon Royval has left Factory X, which I don't like, okay? It's concerning to me, okay? He's left Factory X. He's not there anymore. So that's automatically, I'm like, damn, man, I don't like that at all, right? And then I look at the guy he's facing, Tatsuro Taira. I had to rewatch his film, and, man, I'm very impressed with this guy, man. He looks better and better from his first fight. From his striking from his first fight from now is unbelievable. He's getting a lot better, man. Obviously, the guy is great on the ground. I think, at points he will be able to get Brandon Royval to the ground. He's got to be careful of the guillotine because I've seen him get in close guillotines before. Shirez had him in a good one, as well as Jesus Aguilar. Very close, finishing the guillotine. But this guy, if he can get your back, he's got great trips, man. He's got great trips. But like I said, I don't even think it comes down to the ground game. I like Taira on the feet, and I know Brandon Royval, his point and his goal is to make you uncomfortable, and there's one underlying factor that I think Tatsuro Taira does so well, okay? And that's the clinch, okay? This guy, if you rush in, he's going to grab you and knee you like a motherfucker in the clinch. It's so good to watch, man, because you don't see enough people doing it. And he did it so many times versus Alex Perez. Alex Perez was rushing in with hooks, and Taira would grab the tie clinch and start fucking kneeing him in the face and stuff. Man, it's beautiful to watch because it's such something that should be used a lot more. It's not used enough, and I think when it comes to the fight on the feet, I like Taira's calf kicks. It's a southpaw matchup, so they're not going to be as available. He will use that rear kick. He's athletic. He's fast. His straight shots are very good. Man, he's looking like a complete fighter. That's all I have to say about it. Royval is dangerous, no doubt about it. I think Taira's too good. He's too fast. I know Royval's a great gas tank. I've never seen Taira tired, man. I've seen him go to decisions. He always looks fresh, man. This guy is a very legitimate problem for the flyweight division and the future champion, without a doubt. He is extremely good, very well balanced, and like I said, a problem. Wins a knockout over Carlos Hernandez, I believe, who to me, Carlos Hernandez is actually pretty good. Ray Tatsuro had a hard time getting Carlos Hernandez out of there, and Tatsuro Taira knocked him out. I think Tatsuro Taira is a different type of flyweight. I think he's the best flyweight in this division. I think he's the best skill for skill fighter in this division as well. I think he whoops Urseg. I think he whoops Pantoja. I don't see him he whoops France. This guy's a problem, okay? And I don't think he's going to lose this fight, man. I hope y'all boys enjoyed. We'll see what happens, man. I hope I get my picks right, but I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.